Welcome back, and now we have proof of why Joe Biden will not be allowed anywhere near the Kamala Harris, Tim Walz campaign for the next 2 weeks. This is not the kind of stuff that they need right now.
Thinks he has a right under the Supreme Court ruling on immunity to be able, if need be, if it was the case, to actually eliminate, physically eliminate, shoot, kill someone who he believes to be a threat to him. I mean, so I know this sounds bizarre. It sounds like if I said this 5 years ago, you'd lock me up. We got to lock him up. Politically lock him up.
Did you see that? He qualified it by, say, politically lock him up, but the audience had already started to clap. Now, during her interview with NBC News, Kamala Harris declined to say whether she would consider pardoning Donald Trump, saying she wouldn't get into those hypotheticals. And when pressed on whether she believes a pardon could help bring America together, Harris said, quote, "Let me tell you what's going to help us move on. Me getting elected president of the United States." Rob Bluey is back with us. Rob, you know, Kamala Harris is going to say what she's going to say. I don't know if she's even considered this or not, if she even thinks she can win, if she's worried about that. But, wow, that was really something from Joe Biden there.
Well, it sure was, John, and that is exactly the reason why I think they've hidden Biden out of view as much as they can in these closing days. He is an embarrassment, not only to the Democratic Party, but increasingly to all Americans. I mean, there are serious questions about the man's mental acuity and his ability to serve as president, particularly with foreign wars going on and all of the domestic challenges that we're facing. And he goes on this rambling tirade against Donald Trump. It's exactly the reason why I think many Americans were questioning why Kamala Harris hid his condition from the American people for so long.
Yeah, well, we've been concerned a lot about political violence on the campaign trail. We've talked about Donald Trump's 2 assassination attempts. And you often hear Democrats making fun of Republicans for the way they use guns and photo ops and stuff for campaign ads. But we got a new one that takes the cake here. Fortunately, no one was hurt. But we have to go to Missouri for this one. Kinzinger was joining a Democratic Missouri candidate named Lucas Kunce. They went to a photo op shooting range situation yesterday, and according to multiple reports, the men were shooting metal plates with an AR-15, and obviously those metal targets were too close because a bullet fragment ricocheted back and then hit a reporter in the arm. Don't worry, the reporter will be fine, and credit to him because he stayed on the assignment and continued working. We've also, of course, Rob, have seen Tim Walz recently struggle to load his own firearm, and there seems to be a trend here, right?
Oh, there certainly is. I mean, first of all, if you're going to stage a photo op like this, I mean, safety has to come first, and that was clearly not the case in Missouri. And that's unfortunate. You never like to see somebody get injured in a situation like this. Fortunately, it was not serious. But yes, the Democrats, I think, are doing everything that they can to try to appeal to a certain type of American voter. They are struggling for good reason. Their policies don't align at all with gun owners. And so I think that these photo ops are probably not going to convince very many people. But yes, in this particular case, not the headline that a candidate needs in the closing days before an election.
Yeah, and if we could go back to the picture of Adam Kinzinger, I'm fairly familiar with guns. I own a few. I don't claim to be an expert. I'm not like one of these guys on the range every time. But when you look at the picture of Adam Kinzinger, his cheek is up against the stock of the gun there, the barrel, the butt of the gun, and he also, if you notice, and I know this from Norm Abrams from This Old House, you got to keep your eye protection on, Rob, at all times, and it doesn't appear like Adam Kinzinger is doing that here.
No, not at all. In fact, I'm glad you pointed out that picture. I mean, there's several things that you can probably identify that Kinzinger was doing incorrectly. There it is again. And yeah. Absolutely not a safety-first approach to this particular situation. And again, that's why I think that if you're going to stage a photo op like this, please at least take the time to understand how to use a firearm.
Yeah, Democrats, again, they were also all worked up about Donald Trump's staged event at McDonald's. At least no one got shot at that event. Right, Rob?
That's right. Well, Donald Trump, I think, clearly knows. I mean, the thing about Donald Trump is his authenticity. And I see that the Democrats are poking fun that he didn't take his tie off. I mean, we know Donald Trump to be the man who is always dressed in that red tie and a blue suit. I mean, that's what you expect from Donald Trump. He's not going to be somebody who is going to try to stage something that is not authentic. And so I think that that's why the American people appreciate him. He's not a standard politician, and that's what the appeal is, particularly among those working class Americans who have gravitated toward his campaign.
Yeah, and I mean that picture, it's the picture of Donald Trump looking out the window at McDonald's, waving to the crowd. It's like, one of these iconic images. It reminds, I think, a lot of people, even, again, I know Democrats hate it, and Donald Trump's haters hate it, but it reminds people of like a Norman Rockwell painting. It's that iconic, and just one of the many iconic images we have seen on the campaign trail so far this year. Rob, great to have you with us today, as always. We look forward to seeing what other great work you guys put out over there at the Daily Signal. We'll be watching closely. Take care.
Thank you, John.